Back with another one, Blue is Our City, Manchester City fan channel. And man, it's gonna be hard for me to do this video, man. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna talk to you guys out there, man, because this loss hurts, man. This loss hurts, man. Manchester City lose to Chelsea in the Champions League final 1-0. And I don't even know where to start, man. I guess I gotta start with the obvious point is, you know, what the hell was Pep Guardiola thinking about, man? Once again with this guy, man. And as much as I love Pep, I give Pep a hard time sometimes, but as much as I love this guy, he had been doing so well this year, man. So well with not overthinking situations, especially in the Champions League. We made it past the dreaded quarterfinal round that kept just eliminating us, and he's been doing so well. And to get to the Champions League final and play with no CDM, Pep? Word? That's what you doing? That's what you doing? Yo, 2021, that's what you doing, kid? Nah, bro, that's not a good look, bro. And, yo, that just set in right there for the Heartbreak Hotel, man. But I just don't know what the man was thinking about, man. And as much as I think Pep Guardiola's had a rough season this year, because we got to really think about it. Pep's going through a lot this year. And for him to just do so well with Manchester City, not only win the Carabao Cup, we managed to, you know, win the Premier League trophy after we started very slow. And they get, like I said, over that Champions League hurdle that's been knocking us out for so long. And to make it to the final and no Ferner, no Rodri, man, that's the first time you've done this all year, man. Why would you do this? But, you know, I think he just felt the need that, yo, Chelsea had just been beating us, yo. This is the third time that they've, you know, had a victory against us in the last, month and a half. So at the end of the day, I got to give Chelsea a lot of credit, man. I must say that they're very boring to watch. I can't stand watching Chelsea, but their fans are not going to care because at the end of the day, they got the result that they set out to get. And now they're crowned champions of Europe for the second time. But I will say I'm going to start this video, and I know I may sound a little bit negative, but I'm going to transition to positive things like we always do. This is Manchester City, so I like to keep it real on this channel as much as possible, but I got to be honest, and then I'm going to finish up with something positive. So, bro, let's get into this game, man. So, right when the starting lineup was announced, man, I'm thinking to myself, holy hell, because like I mentioned, no Ferner, no Rodri all year. You know, for him to decide that he wants to do it in this particular match and just kind of overthink the situation, that was just painfully, I couldn't believe that he even did that. When I looked at my phone on my app, I use an app called The Score. Yo, I was watching it. I looked at it on my phone. I was like, nah. Something's wrong with this. Something's wrong with this. It can't be right. But then I get the starting lineup and I see it. So obviously he made that decision. Then he decides that we're going to go with the false nine. I think most of us predicted that he would go with the false nine situation, but the way he did it just did not work in this particular match, you know, in my opinion. So then he decides that, yo, we're going to have Sterling on the left, Riyad Mahrez on the right. Obviously, I'm glad that he went with Zinchenko. I don't think Zinchenko had the best game possible, but I'm not going to pick on Zinchenko for that, man. Zinchenko's been rock solid for this team all year, so I didn't really have too much of a problem with that. It came to be a problem a little bit later on in the match, but as far as the starting lineup goes, so he decides to go in the midfield with my man Phil Foden, Kevin De Bruyne, and then Ilkay Gundogan, which I'm a big fan of having, you know, KDB and Phil Foden on the pitch at the same time, but I just didn't like the way he did it, especially with having no Rodri. It thinks that maybe he just had to make a decision, you know, in that midfield, and, you know, obviously losing to Chelsea so many times, maybe he just wanted to try something new. But it just didn't work out. So let's kind of get into this match. If you see me looking over here, I'm looking at my notes. So the one thing right off the back is, as the game started, I thought that we were doing good, essentially pressing Chelsea. But Chelsea is one of the best teams in the Premier League as far as being able to have possession of the ball, be comfortable on the ball, and not really freak out. You know, their midfield, in my opinion, is the second best midfield this particular season. So, but right at around 7-minute mark, Edison makes a phenomenal over-the-top pass to Raheem Sterling. And Raheem Sterling with a great run, because yo, you watching this game, you knew one thing, yo, Chelsea's fullbacks were on our wingers. They couldn't even do anything. I mean, as soon as Raheem Sterling got the ball, he's looking back. He had to go back. Same thing with Riyad Mahrez. He had to go back because they just got no space, and we know that we're playing against Chelsea, who has this back five situation that they love to do. So, but in this particular situation, Edison with the ball over the top, and I think that Raheem Sterling just kind of messed up his first touch. And I'm not going to beat up on Raheem Sterling on this, and I know this, and I'm going to call out some people on this. this is that, yo, I don't care, man, what you guys feel about Raheem Sterling, but all this negative, Raheem Sterling, I can't even talk right now, all this negative, energy going towards Raheem Sterling this year. Yeah, the man might not have been in the best form, but he still has, more goals than a lot of other people on this team. So, just knock it off with all of that. Now, I think that one thing Raheem has to be accountable for is that he probably hasn't been in the best form. We all know that the man is probably a little bit not the best in front of goal. But in this particular situation, once he gets the ball, Reece James catches right back up to him in this particular moment, and he's not able to get his shot off. And the reason why I'm saying that is a pivotal point is because Raheem Sterling, if you know he is struggling on the left, why is this team so inflexible? All this flexibility that we've been doing all year, why can we not put this man on the right? Put Riyad Mahrez on the left. I know that he does not like to do it, but we have to try something new. And I hope going into between now and next season, Pep has got to work out a situation. If we're going to keep Raheem Sterling, and I hope we do, that they have to work out some kind of situation where they're able to switch within game. I think Raheem Sterling is much better on the right. And I know that Riyad Mahrez has had a great season, but Riyad Mahrez has got to be able to play on the left-hand side sometimes, bro. So that's what he has to be able to do. Then you got Bernardo Silva, who was also in this team. And Bernardo Silva, we know he's really good at pressing, and he's got that energy, but he just didn't have a chance to really get going in this particular match. So that's just my opinion of the situation. Could Raheem Sterling have done better in this particular moment? He absolutely could. But then as he rounds the keeper, because Reece James catches up to him, he does a back heel and he tries to get the ball past Mendy. Mendy wasn't having any of that. But is that our shot on target? Like, I'm looking around and I'm like, yo, what was our shot on target? I can't remember any clear-cut opportunity, but I'm really struggling to find. And please let me know if you guys are out there watching this, yo. Please let me know, what was our shot on target? Was it Raheem Sterling back heel kick, or was it the Phil Foden opportunity that was blocked by Rudiger? So that, all in all, man, that situation happened. Now we go into later parts of the game, and around that, first 15 minutes, Timo Werner and Kai Havertz, yo, I got to give them credit. They were just, their runs, their movement, it was just causing problems for our back four. And being that our back four had no protection, essentially, because Gundogan can't really do that job by himself at this point. You know what I mean? Like, he hasn't had to do that job all year by himself. So, just they didn't have any protection. And you could see that Timo Werner was just running and getting a stretch, and John Stones and Ruben Diaz was just having a problem dealing with these two, with the runs that they were making. And Timo Werner had a great opportunity right after, the Sterling opportunity kind of subsided, if you will. Then he has another opportunity where he just kind of loses his footing. But if that could have been a better shot, he shot the ball right at Edison. The ball had no pace, so Edison was able to, save the shot. But at the end of the day, man, that could have been a lot worse. And we could have been, 1-0 down right there. Also, too, like I mentioned, man, I think that Chelsea's fullbacks, they were outstanding. And even with our wingers in this point, even if they would have got past Reece James or Chilwell, they got 3 center backs that they got to deal with. And I just thought the tactics were just, poor, in my opinion, with Pep. And I don't know what he was thinking about there, but we did have an opportunity coming right back in around 27-minute mark where, Sterling got the ball. He then passed it. So we're driving on the left-hand side of the pitch. Sterling gets the ball. He passes it over to KDB. KDB makes this nice pass over to Phil Foden. And then Phil Foden, right there where he tries to get the shot on target and get the shot off, Rudiger right there, like I mentioned, with a phenomenal block. And I don't know if that was the shot that was on target or whatever, but 42 minutes in, man, and we just got really stretched in this particular moment where, I think Chilwell ends up getting the ball. Kyle Walker runs out to him, and Kyle Walker's trying to close him down. Now, that leaves our back line a little bit exposed. So, next thing you know, Mason Mount gets the ball, and it's Zinchenko versus Kai. And then, all of a sudden, it was just like part of the Red Sea right there, man. I don't know what happened, but, we were just so full stretch. And then Kai actually shoots the ball. Edison gets like a slight touch on it. And I thought Edison did well to even do that in that particular moment. But Kai just jumps over him, and then Kai slaps the ball back in the net. And Chelsea is up 1-0 at this particular moment. And it was just sheer frustration after that particular moment of the game for me, because City was not playing their best football, man. Then we go into halftime, and I'm looking at the numbers. Even when you looked at possession, we didn't even have that much possession. I think we had 52% possession. Chelsea had 48, and Chelsea do a real good job of doing what they do. They don't really panic on the ball, like I mentioned. And then, unfortunate situation happened with my man KDB. KDB, man, I hope you're going to be all right, man. But that was a heartbreaking moment, man. He ends up getting the ball, and he runs directly into Rudiger, and they basically have a clash of the heads. But then as Kevin De Bruyne gets up, you could tell it's kind of concussion protocol time, because the man just did not look good. He had the crazy eye jammy right then and there, looking like somebody just straight up decked him, hit him with the straight, or with a some type of hook or something. It was looking bad underneath the eye right there, underneath the eye socket. But the part that was just so crushing for me, man, is that you don't want to see somebody go out, somebody that you have so much love for at this particular club. He's a leader, he's a captain, he's our most influential player. And for him to go off in a Champions League final, man, it was heartbreaking to watch that, man, because as you could see, the cameras rolling on him, and he's crying, and you could just see the level of emotion, and nobody wanted to see that, man. So Kevin, hold your head, man. And at that moment, I was just hoping that the team can rally just for him, but he ended up having to come off, and we put Gabriel Jesus on. And this is another talking point for me. I don't understand why Pep did not start Gabriel Jesus in this moment, because to me, Gabriel Jesus was the best player on the pitch for us. He showed a lot of desire. He was making runs. And, Gabriel Jesus definitely got that type of energy, man. But he was like one of the best players when he came on the pitch, absolutely, for me. And I don't know why Pep did not start him in this particular match. But I know once he got Gabriel Jesus on, and it was unfortunate that Kevin had to come off in that particular moment. But Pep probably saw it himself. He was like, yo, Gabriel Jesus exudes so much passion, so much desire. And I'm like, yo, Pep probably knew that, that was a mistake that he definitely made. So he comes, Kevin De Bruyne comes off, Gabriel Jesus is doing his thing. It really didn't change much of the game, just being honest. But I thought that his level of desire, his passion, his willingness to just get up there and fight was definitely on full display. Later on, he takes Bernardo Silva off, and Ferner comes on. And then now you can see that Ferner comes on, and we're able to get control of the midfield once Ferner comes on, because Ferner, you know what Ferner does. Ferner does a job that he's been doing for almost 10 or 11 years for this club, is that he not only has the passion, the desire, the willingness, and the stamina to be able to do his job well and effective, but he galvanizes the team, especially the way he galvanized that midfield, because anytime you got playing against, Chelsea got a player on their hands, man, and nobody really talks about this guy. I think people talk about him, but you want to talk about the excellent season Mason Mount has had. He's definitely had an excellent season, but I don't care what nobody tells me, man. N'Golo Kante is that dude. He is that dude, man, because every time you look up and you think you're getting past this guy's just right there. There was an opportunity where Kevin was driving, and then all of a sudden Kante wins the ball right off of Kevin, and he makes things look so simple. But that guy was the standout player of this match for me, N'Golo Kante. But And then all of a sudden, Pep decides that, hey, I'm going to take Raheem Sterling off, and I'm going to bring on my man Sergio Aguero. And I was just happy to see Sergio get on the pitch, man, but it didn't really change anything. But at the end of the match, man, I'm looking up and, I'm just saying to myself, it's like, yo, you could just see Sergio crying. And I think as all City fans, as all of us, we love this club so much and we love Aguero so much. That was not the way we wanted to see Aguero get a sending off. And I even saw Sergio crying, and I'm saying to myself, man, it just can't be. And then, even at other points in the game, man, I think Chelsea had another opportunity just to seal the game. I mean, they stretched us once again later in the second half, where if Pulisic puts that away, because Pulisic gets the ball, Edison did a great job of running out to him and making him panic at that particular moment. But, he just, I don't know what he was doing with that shot, but the shot ends up going wide. And I'm so happy to know that we still have a chance in this game because he missed. But you can see time and time again that Chelsea's pace was killing us. They were killing us. Whether it was Timo Werner, whether it was Kai Havertz, whether it was Mount, you know, when they were driving forward, their pace was just killing us. And I don't think we put out our strongest lineup as far as pace, you know. So at the end of the day, Chelsea ended up winning this game 1-0, and it's Heartbreak Hotel for most City fans. So now that I got all of that stuff out the way, whether you deem it to be negative, I just have to be honest on this channel. That's what I do. This is Blue is Our City. I love Manchester City, but I'm always going to keep it real, bro. That's just the way I roll. So all in all, I want to say this. We've had a phenomenal season this year, so nothing can be taken away from that. We've done some great things this season. We have captured another domestic, you know, trophy as far as winning the Premier League. We made it to a Champions League final. This is something that we have never done before, and I'm really hoping that we can learn a little bit of lesson that, you know, from Liverpool. Remember when Liverpool lost against Real Madrid in the final? They came back the next year and then they won. I'm really hoping that we can do that, you know, next year. So that's something I got to look forward to. But this team has been, you know, phenomenal all season long. So if I sound like I'm talking bad about them, it's not my point. I'm not trying to talk bad about them. I'm just saying that, yo, we got to be honest. But coming into next season, I believe that the boys will have this learning experience to understand how we can be possibly better next season and learn from this experience of making it to the Champions League final and then hoping to come back and win again. And then also this will be a learning experiment for Pep Guardiola, because Pep is going to say, yo, I've done a great job, man, of just being super casual and, you know, not really overthinking things. And maybe this tactic did not work, particularly in this particular match, but maybe Pep can learn something next season that say, yo, if I get to this moment again, I'm not changing anything. So I'm hoping that Pep can do that. And also certain improvements are going to need to be made as far as the team. And, you know, we're coming up now that we can talk about transfers, and I will definitely be bringing you guys a lot of that content, because I think as Manchester City, we have got to find a way to be not only technically sound, but we need to get back our pace. We are too slow right now, in my opinion. And I think Pep will make this change in the offseason. I don't know how he's going to go about doing it, but I definitely think that Pep is definitely seeing that, yo, tactics are one thing, but we need to get back our pace. We need to get back that counter-attacking ability. I don't know how we're going to be able to do that, but we will be able to do that. And for all the players out there, Kevin De Bruyne is going to come back better. I'm pretty sure he will. And Phil Foden is such a young lad, and I think that he's going to learn a lot from this and be better again next season. So I'm really hoping that we can do that. But all in all, we did lose the Champions League final. I know everybody out there is heartbroken. I'm heartbroken to do this video, but I definitely think that the team has had a phenomenal season, and a season that's been absolutely weird. But I'm hoping that we can just run it right back again next year and be able to capture that elusive at this point Champions League trophy, if you will, and then hopefully we win the Premier League again next year. So I'm hoping that we can do that. But yo, if you're new to the channel, this is Blue is Our City, where I keep it real, and I'm so disappointed, but consider subscribing to the channel if you're liking the content. I'll definitely will be bringing a lot more content now that we're in the transfer window. I'm going to talk about transfers. I'm also going to talk about recaps of the season. So I'm going to bring you guys a lot of new content, but hold your head up. I know it's hard for all of us. Hold your head up. We're City. We're going to stay positive, and we're going to run it back again next year. So hopefully we can get that job done. But until then, I will see you guys on the next one. Blue is Our City, and I'm out. Peace.